Health Canada is announcing the recall of some arrowroot biscuits due to the possible presence of soft plastics and paper pieces.
There is a bag or a box in your home right now, something you've reached for 100 times without thinking. It was bought on routine, opened on instinct, handed to a child without hesitation, because it's familiar, because it's always been there. And in everyday life, familiarity feels like safety. But that assumption is where the real risk begins. In the United States, more than 10,000 chemicals are allowed in the food supply. And here's what most people don't know. Since 2000, nearly 99% of new food chemicals were never directly approved by regulators. Instead, they entered through a loophole called GRAS, generally recognized as safe. That means the same companies selling the product are often the ones declaring it safe. The Environmental Working Group has identified over 100 chemicals added to food with little to no public disclosure, no warning, no label clarity, just quiet approval behind the scenes. Now, look at your snack shelf again. The brightest boxes, the most advertised brands, the ones children recognize instantly. Many contain additives already being restricted in multiple U.S. states. 7 brands, one by one, and once you see what's inside them, you won't look at that shelf the same way again. 1. Skittles, Mars Incorporated. Those colors are partially produced using titanium dioxide, a whitening and color brightening compound that the European Food Safety Authority formally classified as no longer safe for human consumption in 2021. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has classified titanium dioxide as a possible human carcinogen in its inhaled form, and in vitro studies have documented its association with DNA damage and disruption of gastrointestinal function. In 2016, Mars publicly committed to phasing out titanium dioxide from its products. In 2022, a class action lawsuit was filed against Mars in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, stating the company had long known about the health problems the compound can contribute to and had continued using it despite its own public commitment to remove it. The FDA last evaluated the safety of titanium dioxide in 1966. For a child eating Skittles regularly across years of childhood, the accumulated titanium dioxide exposure from this single daily candy source is not a figure that appears anywhere on the packaging. Skittles is the first brand on this list, and the one whose legal history has made the chemical inside it impossible to ignore any longer. Manufactured by Mars Incorporated, headquartered in McLean, Virginia, Skittles has been positioned for decades as a colorful, fruit-flavored candy for children. The colors are the product. They are engineered to be visually irresistible to young eyes, stacked in a spectrum designed to communicate fun before a single piece touches the tongue. 2. Cheetos, Frito-Lay, PepsiCo. Produced by Frito-Lay, a subsidiary of PepsiCo, headquartered in Purchase, New York, Cheetos carries Yellow 6, a synthetic petroleum-derived dye, as a core ingredient in both its crunchy and puffed varieties. Yellow 6 has been found to potentially contain cancer-causing contaminants, including benzidine, a compound the Department of Health and Human Services National Toxicology Program classifies as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. The California Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment has linked Yellow 6 and Red 40 to neurobehavioral effects in children, findings that led California to ban these dyes from all public school meals in 2024. Research published by the Environmental Working Group indicates that up to 8% of children show behavioral changes after consuming artificial dyes, and a 2012 study found that 33% of children with ADHD showed measurable improvement after removing synthetic food colorings from their diet. For a child eating Cheetos several afternoons per week, the Yellow 6 exposure is not an isolated incident. It is a recurring dietary pattern that the front of the package was never designed to communicate.
Cheetos is the second brand on this list, and the one most effectively hidden behind the cultural identity of after-school snacking in America.
3. Gushers, Betty Crocker/General Mills. Manufactured by Betty Crocker, a brand owned by General Mills headquartered in Golden Valley, Minnesota, Gushers carries Red 40, Blue 1, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6, 4 synthetic petroleum-derived dyes in a single product marketed directly and specifically to children. Independent nutrition analysts at Eat This Not That specifically documented that Gushers contains 0 grams of fiber and 0 grams of protein alongside its 10 grams of added sugar, meaning the product provides no satiety while delivering a significant dye payload per serving. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has stated that Red 40's major safety studies, used by the FDA to approve it, contained methodological flaws acknowledged by the agency itself. Long-term consumption of Red 40 has been linked in recent research to ulcerative colitis.
Gushers is often perceived as a better-for-you treat because of its made-with-real-fruit messaging, but that framing can be misleading. Behind the bright packaging is a product that still relies heavily on added sugars, processed ingredients, and synthetic dyes. These artificial colors, often derived from petroleum, are included to create the vibrant appearance that appeals to children, yet they offer no nutritional value. For parents trying to make healthier choices, the front label can overshadow what's actually listed in the ingredients. Regular consumption of ultra-processed snacks like Gushers may contribute to broader dietary patterns linked with inflammation and poor gut health. While not harmful in small amounts, frequent intake, especially in children, can raise concerns over long-term health impacts. The issue isn't just one snack. 4. Goldfish Crackers, Pepperidge Farm, Campbell Soup Company. Manufactured by Pepperidge Farm, a brand owned by Campbell Soup Company, headquartered in Camden, New Jersey, Goldfish Crackers carry autolyzed yeast extract, a flavor compound functionally equivalent to monosodium glutamate, alongside 250 milligrams of sodium per standard serving. A pediatrician writing for Weight Loss for Kids, comparing Goldfish and Cheetos side by side on a nutritional basis, concluded the two products are nutritionally comparable, differing primarily in their marketing and their cultural perception, rather than their actual ingredient profiles. The elevated sodium in Goldfish is not a background detail for children. Research published in peer-reviewed journals has linked high sodium intake in childhood to cognitive degeneration, kidney stress, elevated blood pressure, and cardiovascular risk patterns that establish themselves in childhood and persist into adulthood. In 2012, a lawsuit was filed against Pepperidge Farm in Colorado, challenging the brand's use of the word natural on its packaging, given the presence of GMO soybean oil in its formulation. For a parent, choosing Goldfish specifically because the packaging signals safe, simple, and wholesome, the gap between that signal and the documented ingredient profile is one the front of the bag was never designed to close. 5. Kellogg's Fruit Loops, Kellanova. Manufactured by Kellanova, the snack division that separated from WK Kellogg Co. in 2023, Fruit Loops carries Red 40, Blue 1, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6, alongside BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, a synthetic preservative that the National Toxicology Program classifies as a possible human carcinogen. BHT is banned as a food additive in Japan, the European Union, and Australia. In 2015, Kellogg's pledged publicly to remove all artificial colors and flavors from its cereals by 2018. In 2025, the Center for Science in the Public Interest documented that Fruit Loops still contained Red 40, Blue 1, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6, 4 of the same synthetic dyes the company had committed to eliminating 7 years prior. Kellogg's publicly blamed American consumers for the failure.
claiming there was insufficient market demand for dye-free versions domestically, while simultaneously reformulating its European product lines to remove the same dyes. A breakfast cereal designed for children, carrying a preservative banned across multiple continents and 4 petroleum-derived dyes the manufacturer committed to removing and did not, sold every morning in households across the United States to children whose parents assumed the commitment had been honored. 6. M&M's, Mars Incorporated. Manufactured by Mars Incorporated, M&M's contains a mix of synthetic dyes, including Blue 1, Blue 2, Red 40, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6, all petroleum-derived additives used to create its signature bright colors. The Environmental Working Group has identified these artificial dyes as some of the most concerning chemicals in the food system, linking them to potential behavioral effects and developmental concerns in children. A 2012 study also found that removing synthetic dyes from diets led to noticeable behavioral improvements in some children with attention-related conditions. What makes this more significant is the contrast. Mars has already removed these dyes from M&M's sold in Europe, where regulations are stricter. 7. Pringles, Kellanova. Produced by Kellanova, Pringles flavored varieties contain more than just potatoes, including artificial dyes like Red 40, flavor additives, and sodium levels reaching up to 320 milligrams per serving. In January 2026, Pringles was included in a multi-state recall after the FDA identified unsanitary conditions at a Minneapolis distribution facility, with possible exposure to rodent waste and bird contamination. The recall carried a risk of adverse health effects, including salmonella. Beyond contamination, concerns extend to daily consumption. Pringles stands as a clear example of how additives and quality control issues can combine, all in a product most people never question. 8. Siete Foods, Safe Pick 1. Siete chips are made with avocado oil, cassava flour, and sea salt. The ingredient list is readable in under 10 seconds. No Red 40, no Yellow 6, no BHT, no TBHQ, no titanium dioxide, no petroleum-derived dyes of any kind. Independent clean label advocates and registered dietitians across the United States in 2026 consistently rank Siete among the most transparently formulated mainstream snack brands available in American grocery stores. PepsiCo acquired Siete in 2024, a development that consumer health organizations continue to monitor. 9. Lesser Evil, Safe Pick 2. The answer is organic popcorn made with coconut oil, organic popcorn kernels, and Himalayan pink salt. 3 ingredients, nothing derived from petroleum, nothing requiring a regulatory safety review that was last conducted in 1966. No dyes, no preservatives, no flavor compounds, no synergistic chemical combinations that independent researchers flag as areas of concern for children, pregnant women, and elderly people managing chronic conditions. Lesser Evil uses no inflammatory seed oils, no synthetic preservatives, and no artificial colors across its entire product line. Return to the shelf. Nothing changed, except what you now know. 7 brands, 1 pattern. 2 brands, a better choice. Next time you shop, look closer at what you pick. If this opened your eyes, hit like, share it with your family, and subscribe, because what we uncover next will change how you eat every day.